I'm really excited to share with you something. We have a special guest on today. Hello, Stu.
Hi, Lou.
This is Stuart. He is my younger brother. And I'm sure you've heard a lot about him on the podcast. I talked a lot about him. And here he is. Welcome to I Like to Think I'm Interesting.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for sharing this space with me. I'm ecstatic, frankly.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I guess well, Stu is a fellow creator, and he's also actually editing for LOUZR Creative, and you'll see him actually. We're planning a few things of content for you. If you haven't seen already, we did a deep dive into the trailer for Jude and Julia, so you should check that out. We'll probably link it in the description. Stu's my brother. What are your pronouns, Stu?
My pronouns are he, they.
He, they. Opposite to me.
We're flip-flopping.
Actually, yeah, we are flip-flop, because as you know, mine are they, he. But, I don't know. I usually just start this off by I don't know. Well, mostly to know is you're my brother. You're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You are in college right now, and you're studying.
Oh yeah, I should mention. Yeah, I go to college at an undisclosed location that you'll never know. Even though I suppose people who are watching this probably already do know, but you never know.
We're just not sharing super
we're not
things
sharing
online.
all the information. Yeah, we're gonna
Sometime we might though.
But I myself am a music major, a French major, and then a physics minor. I was triple majoring in those three things, but I, in the middle of like a 12-hour physics problem set, I kind of had the realization that I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And so now we might not even get the minor actually, because they're like updating at my university. They're updating all the requirements, so now, like all of a sudden they're adding in all these extra things you have to do in this whole weird extra application. The one thing I will share is Stellic. If anyone's heard of Stellic, it's this new software that colleges are using to supposedly help you with getting your requirements done. They list everything out, like, oh, here's all the courses that could possibly work. Meanwhile, I cut several of my classes, so I have to get reapproved, namely my 2 abroad French credits that they have since axed out of my working requirements for French, and now I have to get them reapproved, which is, so for me it's been more inconvenient than anything. I'm sure that there's some benefit to it, and there are some students that don't know what the requirements are, but I'm pretty sure that there's not so many classes that you can take at my school that would mean that you just get confused. I think most everyone knows what they're doing already. I think this is some kind of silly ploy to use this stupid software that no one likes because the university just wants to get all your money.
That doesn't surprise me. Stu is also very smart. I have very smart people in my life. Stu is my brother. Hopefully it has rubbed off. Well, actually, I am older than you, so I would rub off on you. But Stu has always been very good at math. He's very like numbers. Or you're very numbers oriented. I've always seen, and that's why it's really great that Stu is what would you call yourself, a partner of the channel, of a member of the channel,
I'd say partners in crime, business partners here.
Yeah.
For those of you who have already heard, possibly or don't know, for those of you who don't know, I actually edited all of Jude and Julia.
All of Jude and Julia. Stu is the he's an integral part of the LOUZR Creative team, which is me and Stu. In terms of the members that make up what the channel or what we put out, in terms of the marketing, and in terms of the as you guys know, I've had a lot of struggles with burnout and creativity, and so that's why it's great to have somebody who is not only creative but also sort of the technical mind to I don't know, mostly just deal with the executive functioning things that I have quite a hard time dealing with. It excites you. You enjoy those things. You like to look. Stu likes to look at the analytics, as you might see in a future video, maybe. Like Stu likes to, know why people watch our videos. It's really cool that you're because we were just talking about it today, that you really believe in Jude and Julia, and that you really want people to see it, and that's really like makes me feel really good because it's, as it's been such a labor of love, and so yeah, just want to thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, we've been slowly releasing the episodes of the past couple weeks. I think episode 7 came out very recently.
Stu is actually in that episode and the previous one. Stu plays Dave, which is an interesting character because it's really funny because I actually want to tell the story about how I wrote that part for you, because I think it's kind of funny because it stems from betrayal. Do you?
Damn, we're going into this.
It
aren't
stems from betrayal. Unless you don't want me to talk about it.
No,
I don't have to,
we're here.
I think it would be
here.
a funny thing to talk about.
I think.
So Stu and I have been like making things together, acting together. We did theater together for like a long time. So we've been doing creative things together, ever since we were, I don't know how old, but like, quite young, right? Because we lived together, we grew up together, blah blah blah. And so anyway, that's just not super important context, but it's a little bit of good context. So basically, when I was writing TF, my first short film, which again, I've said this a million times if you listen to the podcast, but if you're just in case you're new and you're listening, that can be found on the LOUZR Creative YouTube channel, which will be linked here if you're listening to Spotify, or if you're listening on YouTube, it's right here on the channel, and you can find it. But you'll need to be logged in to your YouTube channel, and you'll need to so it's age restricted and it's demonetized, so you're gonna have to log into your account to see it, because it is, well, it's called a slur, and it's whatever. It was meant to be a really art film, because it was, anyway, I've said this all over many times, but thesis, anyway, it was my thesis project for school and stuff like that, so I'm really proud of it. Please go watch it. Anyway, so Stu was supposed to be in that film, and he is in that film. He is a featured zombie, in fact, the one, if you see it, so the film is about zombies. And Stu plays the zombie character that attacks me at one point, if you'll see in the bathroom scene, the bathroom sequence. And he's great. He comes in, he tries to attack me, and I stab him in the back, and it's great. Yeah. But before, Stu was supposed to be, I don't know, like one of the featured campers. But you see, we filmed TF over the course of 2 weekends. And one of those weekends, I had you first, but you got into a professional show, which is good for you. Also, you never got paid, I think. But whatever. Looking back, it doesn't matter. I'm happy for you. But at the time, I was quite angry and quite petty, because I was like, you committed to me first. How dare you take somebody who can actually pay you, aside from my tiny project that you're on. How dare you? Do you think you're better than me? And so what I did was, I was very distrustful. I still gave him a part because, I know he can do it, and he's great, they're great performer. But yeah, but I didn't give them any actual lines. So this time, I was very, when he told me, he came to me and said he wanted a part in Jude and Julia, and he heard I was writing this web series. Because didn't you come to me and say you wanted a part? Yeah, you did. No, you know what it was? It was our mom said, you should write him a part. Why aren't you writing him a part? And I was like, oh, but he's going to betray me again. He's going to betray me. So what actually happened is the Weather triplets, as you see them now, were actually supposed to be the Weather twins. And I wrote them for my friends Ariel and Jordan, who you'll see, and they were originally going to be the only ones, because because Jordan actually we were at a party at one time, and we were hanging out, and Jordan was like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if you gave me a character that, you know, I need to have her on the podcast at some point because she's great and super funny. And has so many interesting things about her, but you know, because she likes fishing, and she's kind of she's not the only trans person I know. She's just
for those of you who don't know.
Oh no!
What happened? Oh no!
No, nothing happened. Just be like, oh no, I am.
For those of you who don't know, Lou is actually transphobic.
No, I'm not. I just don't have that many trans friends. Ironically. Actually, most of my friends are cis, and it's really, really weird.
And ironically, I have like most of my friends are all trans.
Anyway, well, it just happens. It just happened to be that way that Jordan is somebody who I connect with, and we're really good pals. And like, she just happens to be trans, and I just happen to be trans, and she happens to be one of my only trans friends, just because of the circumstances in which we find ourselves. You see,
the circumstances.
Like it's. But anyway, so I was so Jordan thought it'd be funny. She was like, you should put me as a character in your show. You know, what if my character had weather powers? Haha. Because Jordan is also Jewish, and she was like, and apparently that's an anti-Semitic stereotype.
Oh.
Yeah, to have that they have weather powers. It's apparently really like really like, and it's really funny because her and Ariel are Jewish, and so they both asked me to do this. I swear it wasn't me doing it. They just were like, wouldn't it be funny if that's what we were? And I really and so I was just like, okay, that's really funny. If you're serious, like, I'll write it that way. I'll do it. And so I did. Yeah, like, a lot of times, like, I really actually love writing parts for friends because it's so rewarding to see how, you know, like, if friends, like, if they happen to, like, fit in the story and we're chatting and I'm like, oh, this person could be this person. And then I sort of, like, I'm able to model it off of, you know, what I see from them, you know, what parts I've seen them play, what things I think they would be great for, and, like, you know, it's really fun to write characters for people. And so when I came around writing a character for you, because our mom was like, why aren't you putting him in your show? You should get over that.
I mean, she was right.
She was, well, yeah, because what happened was, and so to out of, because, okay, so fun fact, all of their scenes were already written. All of the weather triplet scenes were already written. Both Ariel and Jordan had agreed to to playing these parts. And Stu's character was sort of an afterthought. And so you see that the characters are Brittany, Krista, Dave. Like, I just I just was like, you know what you're gonna be? You know what you're gonna be? You're gonna have all the afterthought, like, you're gonna, like, I already wrote all the dialogue, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make you Ken. Like, because I had just seen the Barbie movie, and I was obsessed with it. And so I was just like, you know what? And I know you'll play this part well, you'll be Ken. And so there's actually a line, like, if you see you'll see something later, but there's a line in the descriptions of the script where it says that Dave stands confidently on the beach because that's what Ken does. And of course, you know, we designed his costume that way. You know, you've got the tank top, you've got the shorts, and I really wanted them to be as, well, should I say that on this?
Say it.
On this? Well, no, I can't. I'll have to. Well, if it's bad, we'll think of it later and we'll bleep it. But I wanted them to be as cunty as possible. So you're gonna see the heart chokers on all three of them, and it was really fun because basically I also costume designed for everyone in the show. Well, I mean, of course,
the joys of having low budget.
Yeah, the joys of wearing as many hats as you possibly can. But I loved, you know, because when you're costuming on a low budget, you know, like, we purchased some things because we had somewhat of something. We had, like, we got the heart chokers. We purchased all three of those so that they would look sort of uniformly, and you could tell that the characters were connected. you know, and stuff like that. We only you know, purchased a few things. Most of the money we spent on like making sure people were fed.
Yeah.
You know, we spent a lot on like transportation, gas money for people, you know, to make sure that like we did this yeah, with a bit of money, with a bit of help. With a bit of help from our our main investor, my father.
With a little help from my parents.
My parents. And it's really cool to have people who support us so much in our dream, you know, and not everybody gets to have that, and that's just like, and you know, not only financially but also like, you know, like lovingly and parentally, and you know, it just like, it's not lost on us how valuable that is. But anyway, back to the story I was telling. See, that's how this works, is that it kind of twists and turns back and forth.
I think this is exactly what the people are here for, though.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. But anyway, so I wrote the Dave part to like, I just like to sort of like button everything that Brittany and Krista were saying. So it'd be like, you know, you say totals at one point a bunch of times. I just thought of like. And then I also thought about so my friend Jordan, so who plays Brittany in the show, she actually she actually was the inspiration for writing the line, you know, Dave, I'll kill you, because she would because that was her running joke for a while. She'd be like, I'll kill you, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. So I made her character actually say it to you because we made this bit because the bit is that these characters are sort of silly, you know, and that they, you know, don't really quite, they mean very well and they're extremely powerful, but they don't, you know, but they're just sort of, you know, they don't kind of quite know what the right thing to say is and what's going on. And then Stu sort of got on set and made it all his own. Like, Stu comes in there and just like, you added this laugh. How did you come up with the laugh?
You mean that?
There are a million bloopers in that scene. We had so much fun filming that. I can't help but laugh and smile like watching that, because it's just so, you guys just make your own spin to these, just like, it's such a joy. The best part as a writer and director is just both at the same time, is getting to see your words come to life, and the people that, you know, especially in a small project like this, getting to like the people that you care about, who I wrote these parts for, you know, like taking what I gave them and running with it and making them like real fleshed out people, you know, like, cause like Dave is like, cause they have hearts. You know, there's like heart to the scene.
Souls, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, because they care, you know, about, but they also at the same time are really misguided. And please watch it, because it's
definitely
it's
episode
really,
7
episode
out
7
now.
is hilarious. I love episode 7. It's so funny. Yeah, and you're really funny in it. Everybody agreed that you're so funny, and you only have like very short lines.
But
really silly lines.
Speaking of the best line that we have to say, totals.
And yeah, it's so
you're gonna want to watch it, yo.
Yeah, you're gonna want to watch it, and also like, it's just so cool to see, you know, when you collaborate with people, you know, what something can become, you know. I think also your editing style in the series really adds a lot. Stu also, I mean, as we've said a million times, but I'm going to promote again, Stu wrote all of the music for the show as well. So while you were editing, you got to like sort of sync it to whatever music you wanted to. Which one came first, chicken or egg? Like, did you ever write like,
that's a really good
for
question.
your edit?
A little bit. Well, there was at least, as you'll see in our final episode that's coming out at a date that you'll see in the future, I was thinking of, I needed more music for that. I needed like another theme, kind of an intense theme that you can listen to right now. It's called Out for Blood. And I was looking for some kind of intense battle music, but nothing where it was so loud that it would overpower a lot of the audio, because already the audio we had going on that scene was was difficult because I think we were filming like in pretty like difficult weather.
Oh, it was in the rain.
It was in the rain and outside and everything. So getting that audio to be good was already difficult, and so I wanted music that would be able to sit underneath it and not block anything. That was kind of my idea for a lot of the score. I think it's not meant to be so like all encompassing as I think some music is and that you hear in shows. It was meant to kind of sit nicely underneath what's going on and be some nice, pleasant background stuff that still adds to the scene but isn't so dominating, I guess. So yeah, writing for that particular scene. I think I also wrote this theme that you'll hear in episode 7. I've called it the Weather Triplets, as with the episode. And I'm going to say the word again. I initially the title that I the working title was just like J&J Cunty House Music, because that's basically what it is. It's like they're short little tracks, so you can check them out on Spotify. Under CSC, it's the Jude and Julia original score, which definitely you should check out. But
Stu also writes music under CSC. That's your music name.
It is indeed my music name. That's perfect transition.
Let's transition. Tell us about that.
So I go by CSC. I'm Clifton Stuart Conrad. So I go by. So that's. I mean, I thought that'd be a cool Spotify name to go by. And I make all kinds of music, but mostly at this point electronic music. It's gonna have. I'm planning on doing another album. That's gonna be my thesis album, and that's coming out, say sometime next year. And so my idea for these albums is I like the idea of having like one emotion, one feeling that's encapsulated by an album. So if you check out my stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, really any streaming platform, then I'll be CSC, and my first album is titled Kindness. It's particularly about my time in France and my experiences there, and it kind of details that a little bit. So every song kind of has that going for it. And there are also a couple of tracks that are entirely in French, en français, parce que je parle français, et c'est super cool.
Stu's really, he knows. Would you say, how close to fluent are you?
I think I'm pretty fluent. I think I'm like professional capacity. I don't think I'm definitely not like near native speaker level. There's definitely words that I learned. For some reason, I'd never heard the word for like to spit in French, which is cracher. I learned this recently. So and apparently, and I was going back and forth about how you phrase like I spit at you, and I'm not sure if it's je vous crache or if it's je crache à vous. I think it's je crache à vous. I spit at you.
Is that a phrase they use in French? Or
apparently Nate was using. Well, sorry, older brother was using this phrase a whole lot. It was mentioned like this was one of the few things because he took French university for like a semester.
I forgot that he did that.
Yeah.
That was so funny. What a time. We were very much encouraged to take French in school because our mom took French in school and was very she's pretty fluent, I would say. I'm not sure if she's still fluent, but no, it's there. She can.
Oh, she's absolutely.
She's absolutely fluent. So she majored in French in school. So she loves French. It's her favorite thing. And so she was very much like, I want to help you guys with your French homework. And ironically, because we were all really good students, I think. Well, I never asked her for help. She was like, all of you are very good students, so you're not asking me to help you cheat. Like your friend, I'd be like, it's cheating, Mom. You can't
help me with
my French, Mom. Like.
No, it was very like, I mean, there's the advantage of every now and then we get to speak French a little bit around the house, although not particularly, but definitely I went abroad this past summer, so that's what this whole album, back to that, my album was about, is my time this past summer going to France, and she actually joined me in France with my dad at the end of the trip, and in my 6 weeks over there. And so it was really nice getting to hear her like kind of take us around, even though I had been like, you know, making my way in French for this whole 6 weeks, you know, her coming over and then you know, doing her thing and kind of schmoozing us occasionally out of situations is always nice.
Really? Did she schmooze people in French?
Oh, you know,
like
a little
out
bit.
of things.
She's got talents.
She really does.
She really does.
I think this is pretty relevant now that I pretty much am very certain I have autism. But
Oh.
like, our mom taught me everything I know about how to socialize. Like she taught me. I'm really grateful because she taught me. She made sure to like say very specifically the rules to me. Like I learned the very specific rules about how to like. I don't think I have like the sense already how to read a room, but she taught me physically how to read a room and how to, you know, like speak to somebody, how to write a nice email, how to, you know, like, but to do it and make it come off as genuine, you know, and to sort of like use your genuine feelings of wanting to be kind to people to, you know, like influence them and to be the life of a party. Like she taught me how to you know make others feel good in that way, you know. I always tell everybody, you know, one of my favorite lessons, shout out to you, Mom, love you, I know you're listening. But she has always told me to, you know, I remember growing up she was like, hey, if you're invited to a party, make your best effort to show up, even if you don't feel like it, whatever, because, you know, somebody went through a great effort to throw this party. And if you can't make it, make sure you give your deepest, you know, make sure you acknowledge that you can't go. And you talk to the actual person who invited you, you know, because, like, people really appreciate that stuff because people worked really hard, you know, on a party. And, like, it's very hard to host a party. And you know, you can make she always told me to make an appearance and you can leave if you want to, and afterward you always thank the host, you always say hi to the host, and afterwards you always say to the host, thank you for having me. And that is what you say. You don't leave without thanking the host. And that has served me very well in my life, and has made it really, I mean, made people think I'm a very personable person, which is great, has made me a very personable person, and is like, you know, honestly, like, just get me in an interview and I'm great. Like, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of, you know, like, I think impressive, or like, at least the job market right now is awful, and so it's like really hard to even get into the room. But when I get in the room, and if I really want a job, like, I you know, do really well in interviews, I'd say. You know, now that I know how to do them, and like know the script and what I'm going to say, like, I'm great, you know. And that's kind of how I know I most likely probably have autism, because I'm very like, these are the rules, like these are the rules that I can follow to get what I want. And I'm far less stressed talking to people in customer service situations than like in like meeting a new person that potentially might be a friend or I might have a relationship with, because there are no rules really to those situations, or they're less clear-cut rules. Because in customer service, all somebody wants from you is whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing for them. You don't have to be anything but that to them. All you have to do is just help them with what they need, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to, like, you could converse with them a tiny bit, but not enough to, you don't have to be personable, you don't have to share your life if you don't want to. You don't have to talk about your work, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to answer really any of their questions if you really don't want to, because you're not trying to impress these people. You're just trying to, like, sell them, help them with their problem, because really all they want to do is just get out of there as fast as possible, because they don't care about your life. And I love that. And it's really weird, but yeah.
No, I agree with that. I also work in customer service. I work at a series of museums in an undisclosed location, once again. And I spend a lot of my time kind of figuring, like, talking with customers and selling them things and you know, welcoming them into the museum and stuff like that. And there's you know, we call it a spiel, a kind of dialogue that you have prepared in your head of what you're going to say. You might make adaptations to it based on the circumstance, but there's a very clear pathway as to what you're going to say to them, what you're going to do. And it's definitely a lot better than, like I find, because when you are meeting a new person, you then have to kind of pick what part of yourself you might want to show off first, or what you have time to show off. Because sometimes like maybe the person could be perfect for you, and it's not even about like, oh, I need to hide parts of myself. It's even more about like I need to show as much off of myself to this person to make me, I don't know, just see if we are worth being good friends or worth being close. And I don't know, it's a very interesting kind of balance you have to strike there with when you do meet those new people, and actually that'll go perfectly into our to me talking about my album.
Yeah, talk about your album, man.
Particularly, I have this one song called LOUZR.
I love that song.
It's such a cool song. In fact, we'll play it for you right now.
We're gonna play the whole thing.
Oh, and you heard a little clip. You heard some of it, didn't you? Wasn't that fun?
Oh, we could put a little bit of something in there. We could also put it a little bit while we're talking a little bit, over. So I don't have the asset to put it in right now, but but we're gonna imagine that we're listening to it. Are you ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Wow, that sounds so great.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I love this song so much.
Wait, the best part's coming up.
Oh. And there.
Oh, it's so good.
I
Incredible.
love that part.
Don't y'all love it? If you like that so much, you can find it on Spotify again under CSC. It's popping off, kind of.
Really? It might be me because it's one of my favorites. I listen to it all the time. It's stuck in my head. I like that it's very it reminds me of like beret, pastel color, like stereotype, American stereotype French in cartoons. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like what people think living in France is like, and it's like not that it's like, but the sound is very like classic. It sounds like
I appreciate that.
That's what it sounds like to me, because it sounds like you're walking down the street and you're like, you have your little sunglasses on and you're like, I have a baguette in my hand. And I'm looking at people like, and people are stopping in the store. Well, funnily enough, we're
gonna announce it.
Well, we don't have to announce it.
We can tease it.
We have some.
We have some thoughts in the works of some possible music videos.
Yes.
Little LOUZR Creative CSC collab.
Yes. Well, we're already collabing, but yes, in the music sense.
Another musical.
In the music
collab.
Sense, another musical collab, more benefiting. But I have a vision for it, and we have a collective vision, but I have a vision.
I have a vision. Tai Lung will return.
So, we, Kung Fu Panda, we know Kung Fu Panda so well. I feel like I've offered to friends several times to entertain them with my knowledge of the entire movie, but no one seems to want to listen to the entire thing.
So you just quoting the whole thing?
Yeah.
There was one time, I don't actually remember this, but I remember this being an idea of a thing that happened where we watched all of Kung Fu Panda, but like in Chinese, in Mandarin Chinese, and Lou just knew no subtitles, just was able to like say it in English at the same time. Subtitles in Chinese and everything, was able to just quote it in English as it was happening. Knows none of Mandarin Chinese, knows not a lick of it, and was just able to quote the whole movie. This hour and 30-minute long movie or whatever, which is just the most impressive skill. One of the most impressive skills that I've ever seen.
Oh, and that's very nice of you. I wish I had the skill to know how to stonk, to grow, to stonks, to take care of the people that I love. Instead, I know how to recite the entirety of Kung Fu Panda. But thank you.
You should low-key do an episode where you do exactly that.
It's like
I subject my friends to me quoting all of Kung Fu Panda.
What if I just surprised like I invite someone to a podcast, but it's like surprise, you're gonna listen to me quote the entirety of Kung Fu Panda, and you're it could be a great idea for a video too, is like surprising somebody with like, just kidding, it's gonna or it would be a great ASMR episode where you try to do the entirety of Kung Fu Panda but ASMR, because like Because you would be it
Hour and a half
it'd be two
long
birds.
video.
It's not an hour and a half. How long is Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah,
I'm
how
gonna
long
look
is
it
that
up.
movie?
I'm gonna look it up. You Phil.
Well, and while Lou is looking it up, because I'm here filling time, Kung Fu Panda is a fantastic film. If you haven't already seen it, there are I think 4 of
I
them.
can't believe you're advertising.
There's like 4 of them out for some reason. Well, the first 2 are incredible. The third one is still very good. The fourth one is awful.
You think the fourth one is awful? No, are you serious?
I thought it was really. Have you seen it?
So you're right. This is an hour and a half.
Yeah, but the fourth one.
Hour and a half movies.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be good because they don't waste time.
They
don't
have any
mess
time for
around.
any of your crap. All right.
They don't have time for anything.
They don't have time. They are.
don't have
It's
time.
tight. It's put together. That's why animated movies, I think, are the in a lot of ways the gold standard for how you make a really well paced, really well done movie versus I don't know, like Oppenheimer or something. What was it, 3 hours long?
God,
some kind of nightmare.
What is with this trend of making movies just so you can make a long movie?
It's because filmmakers really want to pretend like their art is it's so, even though it's it's some shit. It's
but it's
they really want to pretend as
you gotta trim the fat, man. You gotta, at some point, you have to. And now the thing is, I sit here and say that, but at the same time, I loved Wicked. The Wicked movie.
But that was
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Frankly, the Wicked movie. Okay, maybe some of y'all saw it in theaters and were thought it was just God, too long. It needs to end already. But I think all of the the new moments they added, all the extra scenes, I think really added to it. I don't think it really took away anything that it was extra. I mean, it allowed for some more fleshing out, for some interesting stuff to happen, and I don't know. It was. Either that or the stars were just so good. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande and Jonathan Bailey were just so on top of their stuff and put together such great performances that I think it just they really elevated the material
really, to everything about it. I loved it. Stu and I are huge Wicked fan. We saw it together at an undisclosed theater, but it was a professional. We saw the touring production when we were young, and we've loved it ever since. I mean, it was. I mean, I'm not sure when. I think we all went together to go see Wicked, and we've just been such huge fans of it. But the thing about the movie is, I think that its length. At first I was like, why is it so long? But then I was like. But then when I saw it, I was like, I understand. Because I think the problem with movie musicals is that sometimes they either are too musical and don't remember that they're a movie, or they are too movie and don't remember that they're a musical. So the 2 examples I can think of this are Les Mis, when they did Les Mis, the Anne Hathaway one. Anne Hathaway is incredible in everything she does, and I will die on this hill. I think she's the best actress ever, and I love her. I will die on that hill.
Okay.
She's fantastic. I love her.
I think this one was overrated, personally.
But whatever. Well, whatever. I don't care. And she was the only thing that was great. But
only thing. Did you see the second half of that movie?
I saw all of that movie. It was really awful. But I hated it.
You saw Samantha Barks playing Eponine, right?
Yeah, it was fine. It was a great performance of the song, but it was just okay. So what they did was, I think it was a valiant effort. They tried. Very hard to because Les Mis is by itself a fantastic musical. It's a really I even saw a high school production of it, and they did the full thing because it was a really good performing arts high school. And it was fantastic because the music is fun. The staging is really cool. You can for the barricade. There's this big set piece. Anyway, it's about the French Revolution. But when they made the movie, they tried really hard to have these elements. But the thing is, it's a musical that is sung through, so there's no dialogue in it. And the thing is, in a movie, dialogue and other things are very much expected. And if you're singing the entire time, it's less there's less suspension of disbelief if you're singing everything that you're doing, because they'll be like, I'm gonna go get the water from the well. It's just oh my God, can you just go get it for 1 second? Can you just shut up and just go get it? I'm so sorry. Also, it didn't help that I don't think any of the singers, except Eponine, I think, of course, was whoever played that, like Samantha Barks, as you said.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have somebody awful play, the part of that part, because it's a song that has a lot. But I feel like all the other vocal performances I did not like that much. It was heavily auto-tuned, or
it wasn't even auto-tuned. I think that was even more the problem. Like, if you heard any of Hugh Jackman, he apparently, I learned this, I don't know, you should watch, there's a video that Sideways, the YouTuber, does on this, where he like analyzes how they made Les Mis, and apparently Tom Hooper like got it out of like development hell or whatever, and he like wanted to do it live on set, and for whatever reason Hugh Jackman was like, I need to look like a prisoner, even though he never had his shirt off in any scene, and so he like did like water restriction or something, and like didn't eat, and like so he could have like no fat on him. Which, yeah, you're cringing because we are both vocalists, and not having water before you sing is an absolute hell no.
Yeah, you can't.
Do not do that.
You can't do that.
Horrible thing.
Well, and it was just like, I think what was hard is, yeah, exactly.
He sounds like his voice sounds like sandpaper. It's awful.
But it's also like a lot of these actors were like, they were like film actors. They weren't, musical theater people. Like you had, there are people who did movie musicals, like, Amanda Seyfried was, great in Mamma Mia, but that's because Mamma Mia was a very specific type of, and Mamma Mia understood how to do a movie musical right, because most of it was a movie, peppered in with some songs. It was a movie, and it had like songs that were fun, but it didn't feel like you were drowning in the song the whole time. It was more like there were really hilarious moments, and then sometimes you'd get to listen to ABBA. Like, it was like, wow, this is great, and it was fun, and it was, and you were having fun, like, watching, and the songs drove the plot, and that was cool, and like, and I think that was really cool. But like with Les Mis, it was the entire movie where the songs, and the thing is, like, with vocalists, with people played by people who aren't
not good
vocalists,
yeah.
Like, they're not, like, and so if I'm gonna spend an entire movie listening to people who are amazing actors, Helena Bonham Carter is a great actress, but like, I do not view her as an amazing singer as she is an actress. Like, she can sing, she's done Sweeney Todd. I think Sweeney Todd was a little better because of the Tim Burton version, because it was like, it was more stylistic, and it was more about the aesthetic. But Les Mis was just like, because of what Les Mis is, it's such a, I don't even know. Anyway, but the comparison with Wicked, as we were talking about, like, I think that, and also, like, when something forgets that it's a musical, like when a movie musical forgets that, I watched the entire Jenny Nichols, that, she's so funny. She makes enormous, I'll have to show you. She makes great video essays, but she made this one about the Dear Evan Hansen movie.
Oh God!
And that one
was
really awful, apparently, because like it was like a movie, and then every now and then there would just be this song that felt like it just so out of place, and it's like, also people were really upset about, and I liked the Mean Girls musical. I know you have problems with the Mean Girls musical, but I very much
sorry. I love the musical. The movie musical sucks.
I liked the movie musical. I liked the movie musical. I think it felt very like fun and gave teenager high school vibes, which I really, really enjoyed, and I liked that part of it, and I liked the colors and stuff like that and the aesthetics. But what was hard about it was that, studios didn't advertise it initially as a musical. So people were like, what on earth? Why is this, like, this is supposed to be based on the musical. Why on earth isn't it a musical? And then, it's like people, are afraid, like studios are afraid of marketing things as musicals because of how bad Cats went. But I'm like, I'm so sorry. Who thought that would work?
And guess who made Cats? The same guy who made Les Mis.
Yeah.
Shit movies by shit people.
Well, he also made other things that I saw were actually pretty good on the list. But anyway,
I'm sure they're great, but
whatever. Anyway, so like, nightmare. But like Cats, like, who thought? I'm so sorry. Who thought that making them CGI and giving them buttholes in one of the edits would be a good idea? Like, who thought the whole point of Cats is it's a stage show and there's a suspension of disbelief because people are wearing like cat like suits, and you're like, oh, they're cats, but they're not really cats.
Yeah, it's a spectacle musical.
It's a spectacle musical, but also
point,
the dancing is beautiful. It's gorgeous, and none of the songs make sense, and everybody knows that. That's just what it is, because it's based on T.S. Eliot poems, and they slap, and Andrew Lloyd Webber like slapped a story to it, but it's just the story beats. There aren't really any beats. They just are introducing themselves, and there's dancing, and that's great.
Yeah, it's meant to just build up to
the heavy side layer.
But even more, it's meant to build up to memory. Memory is like the song you know from the show, and I don't know if y'all saw, but there are several moments where they just like shit on Jennifer Hudson Jennifer Hudson's character, Griselda.
Yeah.
The glamour cat, the show, they added a song called "Beautiful Ghost" or something at that Victoria, whatever the random ass.
Well, okay, and because the cats are
It's
supposed to be talking to us, right? They're
Yeah.
supposed to be talking to the audience, but they couldn't do that, I guess, in a movie,
That
even
would
though
be
they did that at the end.
That would be kind of
But they were talking to. They made it like that. They were welcoming the cat, the cat Victoria, the white cat, which I thought was clever in the beginning. If it didn't look so ugly, if the entire film didn't look so cursed and awful, I highly recommend you watch it stoned out of your mind or drunk out of your mind, because it's really funny to watch it. It's really awful. But what I'm saying is that I have so many thoughts on that movie. But anyway, Wicked, I thought was fantastic, because I don't think there was a moment wasted. I loved every single moment, and they had both movie parts where you were like, it's a movie, and they also kept the entirety of songs. Because, okay, there are some movie musicals also, The Lion King live action, cut most of they would have the song, but they cut most of the song, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. It's just and I love that Wicked, the part one, everything that I loved about the musical was still in it, but it was adapted really well to the screen. All the lines were correct, but and also the actors, were all trained vocalists. We're all people who had been on Broadway before and who could handle these parts. Jonathan Bailey was in the production of Company, and stuff like that. And he was on the West End a bunch of times. He's an actually accomplished singer. And, and he, I loved the choices that all of the actors made on the songs. I loved the choices. And especially, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, protected it. They were just this script has to be loyal and faithful. Stephen Schwartz, I'm a little afraid of him, because even though he wrote it, he was like, Ariana Grande, do you want to do a hip-hop version of Popular? And she's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Kill it.
Kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire.
Because she was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm like, and I, mad respect. Also, mad respect for her performance. Her performance was incredible. It was awesome. And her Glinda was so, all the little, they were popular, please, which was the Kristen Chenoweth original, and hers was they were and then she popular. Right. And it's
such a good moment.
Such a great adaptation of that moment to add a little bit more, give and take between the two characters. Just all of the choices, I just respected the hell out of. I loved all of the choices. I mean, and the set was fantastic, and the costumes were fantastic, and just, it was beautiful to look at. And I watched it, I've watched it over and over again. It's fantastic.
It was a incredibly stunning movie, and all the choices that were made. The most satisfying thing to me was, I think a lot of times in these shows, the actors will be so bad at singing that they will just they might even make the melody easier. If you, my biggest problem with Mean Girls was they made it was there was Stupid in Love, which they went
Stupid with
it,
Love.
it went from being this really
song.
cool power ballad. If you see what's her name, the actress who Erica Henningsway,
she's fantastic.
She's so good.
She's really
so good.
good.
The first song of the show is
called
crazy,
Roar, and it's really good.
actually one of the most insane songs vocally you'll hear on Broadway. Genuinely,
Yeah,
to be fair, they do kind of give that character so many like really hard songs, and she just does it because it's Erica Henningsen, and she's
fantastic,
she's also in what's it called? It was
she wasn't in.
It was Has Been Hotel. She's also the head in that, and her first song, very great song. I think that show is a little. It's a little overrated, but her songs are great. Her song is real great. I was
watching that a little bit with you, and I was like, I don't like the music is great, but I don't really like the plot.
But back to Mean Girls. Whoever the head is, the person who plays Caddy Harris in the movie can't sing. She cannot sing.
She can't sing.
She like opts down.
It's
that
so
whole
bad.
Song is like slower.
I agree. That was disappointing.
With
it was
like she can't sing, and then she does like Revenge Party, and she like goes down, and she can't go up. Like if you're gonna do a movie musical, because I think the idea is it's a movie musical. So the movie, you can make things bigger and bolder and brighter. And in the Wicked movie, they had these massive sets and these huge things, and then it was accompanied by every vocalist giving it their all. Cindy Erivo would opt up at these really cool moments. That, added
can you imagine having an Elphaba that opted down and everything in a movie? I would be
I would go
angry.
over. I would pull a Luigi. I would go over to the CEO
Stuart,
and kill them.
You can't.
I would do that. I'm sorry. I would
say that.
It is such a disrespect to such a. The whole point is I think the medium can do a lot if you make it just as epic musically as you're making it.
So that was your main disappointment, you would say. With
huge disappointment is that they made it like they TikTokified it. They made it like. I
enjoyed that part of it though.
I thought it was dumb.
I think every other vocalist was better, was great. Not better. I'm saying every other vocalist.
Were like passable.
But I love Lily Carvalho was awesome. I love her Rather Be Me. Her Rather Be Me, where she goes, every asshole has opinions. Like I love when she says like that change. That was great. And Renee Rapp is fantastic. I love Renee Rapp.
But the problem is they also cut like all of Damien's songs. Which was equally shitty.
Yeah, that's also really shitty. Because
Stop is one of my favorite numbers in that show. I'm so annoyed that they cut that song.
Yeah, and watch that. Like that movie is fun in its own ways. I loved Sexy. That was fun. Like I loved how that was done over TikTok.
Did she opt? I guess she did.
Yeah, she did. She had a fun I liked it a lot actually. That song was really good.
If you're gonna write a musical and make the notes difficult, then cast someone who can do that.
I think it's
Don't
hard,
just
though,
change it because we need some celebrity actor to play some character.
But that's right. That's fair.
And they brought in for Wicked. They brought in everyone who could do it. If y'all heard and even the first number, I think the first number made me go, oh my god, this is gonna be so good.
I know.
We
were sitting in the theater. We were so scared. We were walking in. We were like, oh,
it's gonna be shit.
It's gonna be bad, isn't it?
Everything.
It's gonna be bad. They're gonna take everything away.
But then Ariana Grande, she does in the end of that number, wicked, and she like opts up to this like upper E.
She really.
And it was just
it was so beautiful.
It's a thing that I think like Megan Hilty does in one iteration of the show, and like every moment where they could opt up, where they could do some cool thing. They did it, and it was just so satisfying because it should be that. It should be, if you're going to make an epic movie, cast the best people, have the biggest budget, cast the people who can sing the best and hit the notes and do all the things, and they did it. They cast Ariana Grande, who they probably could have gotten like someone who had for her head voice, they probably could have gotten someone who has like a richer head voice, but I think she did everything with her sound, and I think it was lovely. I think she added in a lot of cool extra moments, and I think she was great.
Humor was amazing as well. Great. I thought her Glinda was just great. I loved it.
Lovely.
I mean, it really was just, she knocked it out of the park. It was just fantastic.
And then Cynthia, my God,
Cynthia Erivo is like,
frankly,
the best.
It's a tough race between her and like maybe God, what's her name? Jessica Vosk who I think my best Elphaba.
For me though, I think it was a fantastic choice to make Elphaba black because I feel like she should have been black the entire time because it's just it just makes sense. Like this makes sense.
Yeah, no,
like she
wise,
should be. that's like the point. Like, like, you know, just like how they should have been casting a actually disabled actress for Nessa Rose the entire time, because she's literally disabled, bro. Anyway,
admittedly,
whatever.
I am a tiny bit scared for particularly the Wicked Witch of the East. That song.
Don't. We can't.
We can't?
Because we can't say anything because my girlfriend watches this podcast, dude.
You're so right.
We can't. We don't want to spoil it for anybody.
So, but
we're not spoiling
anything. We won't spoil anything. But there are some songs
there's a
later
song
on
that she sings
that she
later.
does get later on, and based on her first thing that she sang, where she went, "Me and Bach."
Well, okay.
I'm a little scared.
Well, because
okay,
but that's because that's how the song goes. Me and Bach.
Like, she goes, "Me and Bach."
Yeah, me and Bach. Like, well, she doesn't do that.
Well, and she's kind of like, she's mildly auto-tuned to hell, and that is just, there are a couple characters.
Well, she's also next to the guy to Ethan Slater,
fine.
Who's going, "Let's dance." Like, he's doing that. He's doing the literally like the SpongeBob thing. I have feelings about him. Anyway,
who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Let's start.
Some yikesity about Ariana Grande there, unfortunately.
Do you have any final thoughts about this topic?
Final thoughts about this topic. I think it's a great movie, and I'm excited for the second part. And to very quickly, I guess, before we approach our end, once again, I have my album Kindness that is out, which you should definitely check out. And I think we've been talking about how it's difficult to create art nowadays because there's a lot of art too. It's easier than ever to create really cool art and to create really cool stuff, but there's so much more stuff than ever to compare that art to, and to feel like it's not doing enough, or that, like, not only is it not making any money, but it's also not even that good or something. And that's definitely, you know, a worry that you can have. I mean, I listen back and I like what I've made, but, you know, I contemplate, you know, whether or not I'm making stuff that's worthwhile. But evidently anything that you make, I think is, maybe that's the lesson to even take away, is that given you're not making, you know, corporate slop, like, I don't know, like I'd say Les Mis could be considered corporate slop.
I disagree.
That movie musical.
Movie, maybe.
Not that the show is beautiful. The movie musical.
The show is gorgeous.
The movie musical. A lot of those movie musicals are kind of this corporate slop that is made for the. I mean, they make hella money. They make so much money for the studios. But Disney makes a lot of them. They make a lot of money. Even if they're really bad, a lot of times people will go out and see them because they want to see how big of a train wreck they are.
What happened to the days of Disney mortgaging his house, Walt Disney mortgaging his house to make the first animated sound film of that length, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
What did
he
happen?
actually did that.
Well, you know what is happening?
That's an artist.
The economy is getting so bad that people can't afford to even do anything of that nature, and therefore everything is getting harder, and
oh my God,
the industry of art is getting so oversaturated. Anyway,
but also I think that's what's gonna, you know, I was listening to, I'm gonna talk about gaming at some point on the pod at some point, but one of my biggest influences as a creator, but also as like somebody who loves gaming as well, but also just somebody who likes creation, is Markiplier, if you know him. Now, I'm talking to the audience. I know you know him, but he said this great thing on a live stream the other day that I really stuck with me. He said that, like, the people who are trying to, like, make this stuff, this kind of slop, and trying to, like, with AI, and trying to, like, you know, make music with AI, or, you know, have it generate music for them, or have it, you know, make, you know, art for them, or like images, like, they're gonna get bored of it, because the whole point of making and creating is fulfillment. It's fulfillment and sharing your soul and doing something that only you can do. And the thing is, I think those people who, you know, want to take this shortcut that isn't really like them making anything but telling something else to make it, you know, I think it's like maybe they were told that they weren't creative, you know, as children or something like that, but, like, you know, I heard this from somebody else too, but like like anybody can make anything if they really want to make it, and if they enjoy it. Like, the whole point is to enjoy it. It's not to have the thing. It's not about the thing. It's about the process of making the thing and knowing that you made it. nobody else made that, you know? Like, and you know, like, that's why I find, you know, any form of AI art just so, you know, any form, like whether it's like an image or, you know, like a song, it's like, you know, it's like I find it so soulless because it's just that, it is soulless because it's someone telling someone to make something else, which isn't even a someone, it's an amalgamation of ones and zeros, and, you know, until artificial intelligence becomes artificial intelligence and actually becomes artificial intelligence, like becomes like has a soul, you know, like becomes like sentient, then it's like it's not real, you know, it's not it's not you, it's not your soul. Because when you make art, it sounds really woo woo, but when you make art, when you make something, it's your soul there, you know, it's what you think and feel and love, and, you know, it's the summation of you, of all of your parts. So, and I think that, you know, nothing will really be able to replace that. You know, there may be stuff that people will mess around with, but, you know, it all comes from people, and people are all different, and people will, it's not interesting to listen to something that somebody made with something that isn't real, you know? Yeah. I think the more, like, I think maybe AI will make making those things easier, which is fantastic. What we're using right now is a software that uses a lot of AI, which is fantastic, which allows me to do the creating without as much of the, you know, the pulling of the weight. But, like, when it does the creative work for you, what's the point, man? What's the point? Yeah. It's way more fulfilling and fun to make it yourself.
I think that's definitely it. It's, if we can get to a point as a society where we don't have this extreme need to make a whole lot of money, or to, you know, to make money just baseline survive, we can just,
that'd be cool.
If we could just make art and make
cool stuff. What if we
were
a world of artists? What if we were a world of creators, a world of
so sick.
Makers?
And then we have machines, you know, doing all of our other stuff for us, and we just make cool art. But I imagine people won't be satisfied with that. I imagine, as it is now, there are some folks whose entire purpose in life is to make more money and to make more and more and to feel more and more special because their parents didn't tell them they were very special. It's my theory about Elon Musk, actually.
And Donald Trump.
It's pretty accurate, actually, because I don't know if y'all have read, but his parents have flat out, like, disowned him, and they think he's, like, the least successful of his brothers. I think his brother's, like, running some charity and is doing all this good work. Meanwhile, they're like, Elon just stole some guys. He didn't even originally create PayPal. He, like, stole the credit for that from someone else and then got the money for it, and now is making these two other businesses that also aren't really doing shit. If you've seen, Tesla is way overvalued stock-wise, and SpaceX has had several of its rockets blow up recently, and there are people who, like him, who are just doing it for the money, that they don't care if their things are working or if they're doing anything positive for the world. They just want to make more money, and I think if we can get to a point where that isn't our core value where it is right now, then I think the world will be a better place. I think that's what we have to start doing.
I agree with that. Man. Hey, thank you so much for being on the pod, dude. And I'm sure you'll be on it again and again and again.
We're a lot of places, yeah.
But you can find Stu in a bunch of places. If you want to plug anything else, final thoughts you want to say?
Let me do my final plugging. To summarize my plugging, my Instagram handle is Clifton _Stuart _Conrad. Definitely check me out there for, you know, just kind of content advertising. Occasionally I might have other stuff going on. We'll see. But more importantly, my music is going to be on all platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Music, probably SoundCloud. I don't know where TuneCore sends stuff, but or I know where it is, but, you know, I'm forgetting all the different names of things. But those two main places under the title moniker CSC. My first album is Kindness, and I have a lot of cool stuff. I recommend listening to LOUZR, perhaps
Ice Queen.
The Voyage is Fine is my first thing I put out.
It's a great one.
And then I really like a new one I also have in French. It's called Advil. It's a rap song. And definitely recommend, you know, looking at all that, and really more stuff coming out soon. And of course, as always, check out more of LOUZR Creative and Jude and Julia releasing weekly with more content to come and probably more stuff like this.
All right. Thanks a lot, dude. And as always, this has been I Like to Think I'm Interesting. So Stu's pretty interesting, right? All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, yeah. Have fun with this closing that I made. By the way.
Oh yeah, Stu made this closing because yeah, it's okay. Have fun.
This song is longer than I thought it would be, but it's the